You might be surprised to see me sharing this video today and not my DIY pumpkin. You guys, I guess the book that I chose to use may have been an old book. I guess I should have determined that by the little stain on the front. So I was filming that yesterday. I'm filming this on Monday, the 30th. So I'm filming this video. I've got my camera set up. I've got my phone set up. I'm doing little bits here and there, trying to learn how to film TikToks and Reels at the same time as YouTube videos. I go to do the hot gluing part where you take the pages and you flip them around and hot glue them, and the book fell apart. Nothing like that happened with the pumpkin up there that I did. And I'm like, was this an old book? It did have that stain on the front. I guess it just was not held good. I guess the glue wasn't good, because the glue is what was coming apart. So I thought, I even tried to savor it. So I tried to take all the pieces and I tried to glue them back to the backing of the book, and y'all, it just completely fell apart. So I thought, X that out, I'm gonna move on. So I'm sharing my book talk today instead. So I'm sorry for that. I'm gonna hopefully share the DIY ornaments. That's the same process as that. I cut an ornament, so I'm still working on that. If it turns out the samples that I do, I will share that in a video. So sometimes things just don't work the way that we want them to. So today's book talk, I am sharing with you what I read for September, my TBR for October. I've got my book of the month box. I'm almost certain I didn't share that in my last video because I think it took a while to get to me. And then I have some merch to share. So we're gonna start with the books that I read for September. I read 4 books. And let me be honest, 4 books is a good amount for me. Like if I read 5, I'm doing really well. If I read more than 5, it's really odd, unless there was a book that I flew through. So several months I've read 6 or 7 books, but y'all, that's very rare that I have the time to sit down and read that many books. So this month I read 4 books. And I'm super excited to share those with you. So I'm going to start with the first 3. So I told you guys during my last book talk, which was September's, no it wasn't, it was August. Lord, September has flown by. I cannot believe that it's October already. And I say this every single year. I'm always like, September's a long month, and then it zips on by. So I don't know why I'm surprised. So during my August book talk, if you want to check that out, I will link it in the card above. I told you on my TBR for September was the Chestnut Springs series. I read 3 of the 5 books, so I do plan on reading the other 2 by the end of the year. Here's the thing. I can't read an entire series, or I haven't been able to yet, one after the other. So I got 3 of them read. So we're going to start with the first book in the series, and that is Flawless. Now, you guys, I rated this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I would have rated this 5, but I heard so many people online say that this was their least favorite book of all of them. So I didn't want to rate this one 5 and then go and the next book be better than this one. So here's my plan. I plan on like soft rating them now, and then coming back once I'm finished with the whole series and sharing each one of the books and my overall ratings and ranking. That's my plan. I realized my head's almost cut off. Okay. So I try to look in the viewfinder. So I try to look in the camera and not the viewfinder, and I guess I should have checked that out, but I didn't. So this one, I loved it. This one was about, and each one of these books has a different trope. So this book here is about Rhett and Summer. So Rhett is a bull rider, and he's like a real famous bull rider, and he's got this Got Milk campaign. Y'all know those from like the early 2000s. All the celebrities did them. So he does this campaign, and then somebody interviews him before he does a bull riding event at a rodeo, and he tells them basically he hates milk. So at that moment, he loses all of these endorsements and everything. So his career is going to start tanking if he doesn't do something. So his publicist, I think that's who it is, hires his daughter. His daughter works for the company to be the person that kind of gets Rhett's reputation back to where it needs to be. So she moves to the ranch. There is a ranch that all of these Eaton boys, they basically own. And she moves to the ranch to watch over him, to make sure that every step that he takes is the right one to help his career. I just really liked it. I guess I liked it a lot more than a lot of people because I rated this one 4.5. Then I moved to the second book. Heartless is the second book. And y'all, I know that there's tons of different tropes and each one of these books highlights a different trope, but I don't really know the name of the trope in here. This one is about Willa and Cade. Cade is the oldest of the Eaton brothers. So Cade and Rhett are brothers. Cade is older than Rhett. So these are kind of like interconnected, but they're standalone book, if that makes sense. So they're all the Chestnut Springs, all the Eaton boys. So Cade is the oldest brother. Their mom dies when I think he's like 8. So he has stepped up to the plate. He has helped like raise the other boys and sister. He's got a sister as well. And helped his dad with the ranch. So he's always been the serious one, the responsible one, doesn't smile a whole lot. And in comes Willa. Willa is Summer's friend. So Cade is needing a nanny for the summer for his son because he's got a lot going on in the ranch and he needs somebody to watch his son. So Summer's like, hey, Willa, my friend, she's needing a summer job and she's great with kids. So Willa moves in, which is the polar opposite of Cade. I mean, she's like wild in a good way. You're going to love Willa. And so she brings out this different side of Cade. I loved it. 5 stars for this one. And let me stop right here. These books are not made for kids. Kids do not need to read these books. Like my daughter is 15 and she doesn't need to read these books. It does have some very graphic scenes in it. Sexual scenes. Kids don't need to read it. So these two bring out the best and the worst of each other, I guess you would say. So it's their relationship and how it grows and all of that. I laughed. Y'all, there were parts that I was busting out laughing while reading this. So 5 stars for this one. Then I moved on to Powerless. Powerless is about Jasper and... So you can see right now that this one was my least favorite because I forgot the characters' names. Jasper and Sloan. So Sloan is the cousin of the Eaton brothers. Jasper is kind of the adopted son. So it makes sense once you read the books. This was my least favorite one of the 3. I rated it 4 stars. And I want to say this one is the longest of the 3. And y'all, I just got bored. And there was just too much to the story. And I was like, okay, can we move forward? This little road trip we're taking is taking way too long. Can we just get to it? So, this is kind of, they've been friends their whole entire lives and that type of trope. So, 4 stars for this one. So, out of the 3, Heartless has been my favorite so far. Then we go with Flawless and then Powerless. So you will see when I plan on reading the last 2. Then last but not least, I got my first ARC and it is from Mary Beth Wallen and Every Moment Since is what she sent me. This book came out yesterday, October 1st. I did the audio of this book even though I had the physical copy as well. It was just easier for me to do the audio. Beautifully written book. The narrator, if you do the audiobook, was really good as well. So this here is basically a mystery. So Davy, this little boy, has been missing for 21 years. All of a sudden, somebody finds his jacket in this very old house. So they have to figure out, how did the jacket get there? Is he dead? and all of the details. What happened 21 years ago. So that goes through that. I rated this one 4 stars. Highly recommend it. And you guys, it's going to be beautiful on your shelf. So those were the 4 books that I read in September. So now we're going to move to my TBR for October. So I will be honest with you, I have been working on this TBR list for probably 2 weeks now, moving books in and out of this TBR stack. And here's the funny thing, like I have a TBR cart over here, but then I will do a TBR set for the month and I set those somewhere else because I need to pull from those first. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, because I am a mood reader. So I might look at my TBR and go, none of those sound interesting. Or I might know exactly, like that moment, I want to read this book. So I'll go to my TBR card and pull it out. So I have 6 books that I want to read for the month of October. And I'm going to start with the one that I'm actually reading right now. And that one is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. So I started to read Britt Marie Was Here. And then somebody was like, look, you needed to read this book first. So I soft DNF'd that and I started this one. I'll be honest, I'm about 30% in. And it's too much right now, too wordy. So I'm not going to say that it's not going to be a great book. I'm just 30% in. Maybe it's going to start picking up. But a lot of it is dreams between the granddaughter and the grandmother and these magical places that they dream up. And there's all of these magical stories in this, you know, dreamland. And I'm like, am I supposed to be paying attention to all of these little details? Because I can't keep up with all of these stories. So if it comes to be that I'm supposed to be fully paying attention to those, I'm going to be lost at the end. So I'm really not sure how I'm feeling about this book yet. I will tell you in the October book talk. Okay, the second one is, of course, I need to finish up the Chestnut Spring series, so I'm going to read Reckless during October. This is definitely going to get read because November, I want to read the last one. I need to have this entire series finished before I put together my 12 books for 2024 because I don't know if they're going to make it or not. So I want to put them as a group if they make one of the top 12. So I'm going to read this one this month, Reckless. This one is over Theo's story. He is also a bull rider. Okay, then of course it's October, so you have to have some spooky reads. So you guys, I have wanted to read this ever since I got it this summer, and I keep holding off because I'm like, nope, that's an October read. And that is Geneva Rose's book, Home is Where the Bodies Are. Look at this cover. I mean, a VHS tape. This is probably one of my favorite covers on my shelf. It looks just like a VHS tape. And then on the back, it says rated T for thriller. So that is the third book that I want to read. And then I grabbed one more thriller to add to the stack. And it's a Raleigh Sager book. And let me tell you, I've got high expectations for this book because of the only one left back there being such a great book. And that is Lock Every Door. So I have several of the Raleigh Sager books on my TBR cart, but I decided to pick this one for October. Then next we have a memoir that I'm nervous about reading that you've heard me talk about before, and that is Educated. And the reason I'm nervous about reading this is because I'm a teacher. So reading this as through the eyes of a teacher, I don't know how I'm gonna like it. But I will tell you, this is extremely popular and it took me 6 months to get it. I like to buy books when Target has the buy one get one half off or buy two get one free. Every time I would go during one of those sales to pick this book up, it was sold out. So I finally picked it up a few months ago and I definitely want to read it. Last but not least, this has been on my TBR list for several months and I have not gotten to it yet, and I'm not sure why. It is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I've heard so many great things about this book. And I guess the reason why I haven't read it yet is because I've heard so many great things about it. I want to make sure I'm in the right mindset to read the book. Look at the sprayed edges. And this is a signed copy. I think it is. I'm almost certain it is. So that is my TBR list for the month of October. And now I am going to go and grab my Book of the Month box from this past month and my merch. Okay, we are going to do the Book of the Month books first. And I will start by saying that I have now been with the service for 1 solid year. So I got the tote. I was gifted the book tote from Book of the Month. This is the BFF gift, I guess you call it. So it is blue, and it has this book pocket on the front with a magnetic closure that you can put your books in. And it says Book of the Month on the back. And you guys don't mind the hair because my cat, I'm sure you saw her at the beginning of the video, she has been laying on all of this stuff. So I'm going to have to, you know, take the little sticky tape and get all that off. But I mean, it's very good quality. So I was very excited to get a little extra something in my box. And then I told y'all, I think I told y'all last month that I'm on a book buying ban. And that is because my TBR card cannot take any more books. The only books that I plan on purchasing from here on out through 2024 are the Book of the Month box books. And I might ask for some for Christmas. So I actually just got 2 this month. I will talk about that after this box here. So this was my September box. The book that I chose for the Book of the Month book was Mad Woman. And here's how it works. Book of the Month, they will come out with 5 or 6 books from different genres that you can choose to be your book of that month. So there's a list of 5 or 6. And then you can do add-ons depending how long you're with the service. So I can pick my book for the month and then 4 add-ons, and I think it's like $12.99 a book, and it's free shipping. And the great thing about the Book of the Month books is they're all the same size. As you can see, all of these are Book of the Month books. As you can see, if I can speak, all of these books here are Book of the Month books, and they all are the same size on the shelf. And I love that they have the little different colors at the very top. It just adds some more color to my bookshelf. So I will leave my referral link in the description. You do not have to use it, but if you use it, I get a free book. So thank you if you do use it, but you don't have to. So Mad Woman was my choice for September. And then I think I got 2 add-ons. Yeah, I got 2 add-ons. First one was Sleep Tight. You guys, I love a good thriller. And if a book keeps my interest, it's normally about a 3.5. It's that twist at the end that makes it a 4 or 5. Okay? So, Sleep Tight, I hope to goodness I'm loving this one. And then, you guys, I had to get this. I'm a huge fan of Leanne Moriarty. I've got a ton of her books over here. She's got some amazing books. Big Little Lie, Truly Madly Guilty, The Husband's Secret. All those are great books. So when I saw this as one of the add-ons, I had to get it. So it is Here One Moment. And somebody said it's about like a plane ride and something about knowing when your life is going to end. So I'm interested to read it. The only bad thing about her books are they are so long. This one is almost 500 pages. So I'm going to have to pep myself up for this one. So those are the books that I got last month from Book of the Month. Those, and then the bookmark is the best part. I've been expecting you. I need to like collect these and put these on some kind of pin board or something. And then I'll go ahead and share with you because they opened today the Book of the Month for October. So I went ahead and got those. And let me tell you, I was excited about the selections because Frida McFadden finally got a book. So I got her book that's releasing in October, The Boyfriend. That was my Book of the Month pick. And then I did one add-on, which was like Kill Me something. Let me look. I'm going to look it up. So let me tell you how it works. Like Book of the Month, sometimes you get early release books. So the book hasn't even made it out yet. But if you buy it from Book of the Month, you're going to get the copy early. Okay, here it is. Kill for Me, Kill for You. And the reason why I did that as an add-on, because somebody on TikTok said that was one of the best thrillers that they have read this year. The twist was amazing. So I'm so excited to read that one. So those were the 2 books that I got for October. I kept it to 2 because as you know, I got so many books, I don't need to get 5. Last but not least, for this video is the merch that I got. So I ordered these, I want to say back in June or July, from Bibliostyles. And how she does it is, I think her next opening is November. I'll put the link in the description. So I did not order on her last drop, but it was the drop before that I ordered 2 sweatshirts. So her processing time is pretty far out. So she will take a certain number of orders and then she'll cut it off until a couple months down the road, but they're so worth it. So I got 2 sweatshirts. I got this one. And y'all, even though like, I don't know this brand, it says independent. It is super soft. So this has all of the months of books on it. And as you know, if you've not seen my video where I shared my sweatshirts, I will link that in the card above. I'm a sweatshirt person. I will live in these when it gets cold. Let's be honest, I live in these in the summer as well. So I sleep in a sweatshirt 365 days a year. So I thought that was super cute. And then I got one other one. And this one you saw the t-shirt version. It may have been in the last, my last book talk. So this one is it cream? I guess you'd say this is cream. It says books embroidered. And in the very back, it says take care of yourself. And then it says read more books, thriller, historical fiction, adventure, memoir, young adult, romance, science fiction, nonfiction, fantasy, mystery, classic literature. So I love a good book sweatshirt. So I have started getting more book t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I love Bibliostyles, so definitely check out that link in the description below. So you guys, that is all for my September book talk. I almost said October because my months just get confused. So September. The common word for today is going to be fiction. Let's put the word fiction in the comments below if you watch to the very end. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below and I can do another video, or I will answer underneath your question. So I hope you give this video a big thumbs up. By giving my videos a thumbs up, it shows YouTube you're engaged and you like my content, which means they'll start suggesting it and recommending it to more people, which means our community will grow and will continue to spread positivity. I hope y'all have a blessed week, and until next time, bye you guys.